Welcome to the Big Biz Show, featuring insight, analysis, and a lot of stuff that's none of your business.
Hold on. This is the Big Biz Show. I think it is their business.
Making the markets work for you. Here's the man with the plan, Sully.
Hey there, live from the Loft 100 studios in sunny San Diego, California. 110 million broadcast homes strong nationwide on television. Of course, 150 radio stations and, of course, 175 countries and all the ships at sea. Thanks to our friends at American Forces Radio Network. God bless our military men and women serving our country overseas. Yes, underway. Sully here, Costa there, Totter off there, and the DT. T, give me some love. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hey, like that. Just like that.
Yep.
TTT. You look so... your face has turned into from impressed to bitter because you can't do... In fact, yours sounds like that. One more time. What does Costa sound like?
Thought we were bros, man.
Exactly right.
Thought we were bros, right?
Hey, great to have you along today. One of our favorite things, we got a huge show today. Lots of stuff happening. One of the greatest things that I like about this program is when you guys, our viewers and our radio audience nationwide, yeah, that's right, we're radio and TV, in case you're just keeping up, start sending us emails about who we should interview, whether it be an author or a celebrity or a CEO of a public company or a private company or a booze company like Splash Beverage, Robert Estico, which is one of our favorites.
Those are the best.
We got a call, actually we got an email, Greg did, on a company called Safe and Green Holdings. Safe and Green Holdings. Their stock symbol SGBX. SGBX. And a gentleman by the name of Paul Galvin. Gee, that's easy for me to say.
Right.
Paul Galvin, Chairman and CEO. Guess who we got, since we're very important here? We got the Chairman and CEO of a company called Safe and Green Holdings. Paul, how are you, sir? Good to talk to you.
Very good, Sully. How are you? Hey, fellas.
I love the fact that he has the American flag right behind him. The long story short is, you're a green company. In fact, first of all, when you talk about a holding company, for our audience who may not understand it, talk about what a holding company does and is, and so on and so forth.
Sure. So a holding company at the top is Safe and Green Holdings, SGBX. And then what we have is other verticals that we're building out and that stand as their own companies that Safe and Green Holdings either own a majority of or own all of it. So we have a development company that we'll talk about today, I'm sure, that's going to be spinning out onto NASDAQ this August. Mm-hmm. We have a factory ecosystem with over 1 million square feet to fulfill orders for third parties, but also for our development company. And then we're using shipping containers and modules to do point-of-care medicine for greater impact for underserved populations. And all of that's done under the umbrella of Safe and Green Holdings.
So, Paul, what do you want to talk about first? You want to talk about the real estate development company that's a subsidiary that's going to be spun off onto NASDAQ? Can we start there?
Yeah, that's a great one.
So talk to us about it. Give us an overview.
Sure. So at the start of COVID, we were known as SG Blocks. We had under $4 million in revenue and a handful of employees, and we were using the factories of others. And through a very successful COVID testing lab made out of 5 shipping containers at LAX airport, we were able to go from $4 million in revenue to $40 million in revenue, and we used that extra revenue to buy land and deals and put it into a development company that now has a fairness opinion of, I think, close to $80 million that SG Block's parent company wholly owns. And what we've done is to create value for our shareholders. We're spinning out 30% of the development company to our existing shareholders onto NASDAQ. We believe that will occur in August of this year.
And boy, that's a bonus to existing shareholders. And of course, that's a gift that they weren't expecting by investing originally, correct?
Correct. Our shareholders we love them, they're loyal. They've been with us a long time. Our market cap at the parent level is about $18 million, and the development company is wholly owned and has a fairness opinion of approximately $80 million. We're spinning this out to try to create an opportunity for our existing shareholders to have 2 horses in the race, 2 attempts at liquidity, and they can benefit from the growth of both companies.
Talk about the spin out to NASDAQ, because this is interesting, because you are a public company yourself as Safe and Green Holdings with stock symbol SGBX, but now you're going to spin out one of your holdings. Now you create 2 separate publicly traded companies. Talk about that.
Yeah, we think it does two things. It gives the parent company a 70% holding position in this new co. It gives our existing shareholders 30% of this company. We're happy to do so. You know, our existing shareholders recognize that some of the irregularities in the trading of the parent company. Like, how could a parent company worth under $20 million have one subsidiary worth $80 million? So what we're trying to do is to cut our shareholders a break.
Sure.
And while we can't get to the bottom of naked shorting all at once, what we're trying to do is only shareholders that have registered shares will be able to participate in the spin out, and we think that's going to have a beneficial effect for those that synthetically or artificially try to short our stock.
Paul Galvin, of course, Chairman and CEO of Safe and Green Holdings, SGBX. The one I want to bring, here's a teachable moment here. When you talk about the value of a company versus its market cap. Market cap is the outstanding shares, folks, divided by the share price. Starbucks at one point was worth about $3 million with 135 stores. Market cap, according to the share price. This is back in, I'm going to call it 2003 maybe. Their real value was close to $1 billion. And there's this bifurcation sometimes that happens when a stock is trading artificially low and sometimes artificially high. Think Apple, think Oracle, think Microsoft at some point. But there's a bifurcation here, and one of the reasons right now, and Paul alluded to it, and we'll do this on a show sometime, is the naked shorting, and it's actually called algorithmic trading these days. Naked shorting is when, you know, stock is the only asset that you can sell before you own it. You can't sell your house before you own it, can't sell your car before you own it, but you can certainly sell shares of a stock before you own it. Your broker will borrow shares from somewhere else, or at least allegedly borrow shares. You sell those shares at this price, but you got to return the shares of the money in 2 days. Well, the idea is if I buy them at 100, if I sell them at 100 and buy them back at 80, I get to keep the difference. That's what's called a short. It is a bit of a derivative market, but the big piece here is that because of the instant gratification, because of the internet and electronic sales, regulators are in no shape to battle this, because you got to settle a trade in 2 days, but you only have to settle shares broker to broker in 20 days. These are not just borrowed shares. These are counterfeit shares.
Oh my God!
And that's the old naked short, which is now called algorithmic trading.
Wow.
Paul, thanks for giving me a chance to explain that for a second. Hey, let's talk about the second business model of yours. You mentioned not a development company. Remind me again what the second
Factory. We're in the manufacturing.
Talk about the manufacturing side.
Sure. We're a made in the USA company. We have factories about 1.1 million square feet developing in our ecosystem. We have Echo, which operates in Oklahoma, but in the Dallas greater area, metropolitan area. We have a new facility, Waldron, that'll be opening soon and cutting a ribbon. That'll create about 100 jobs. And then we have another site in Oklahoma called McLean, which comes with 800 homes and about 1 million square feet of factory space. The factory space can be for us, it can be for third parties. You know, with that CHIP Act passing, there's a need for some domestic manufacturing. We're always open to talking to people that need space. And then we have our final manufacturing site at St. Mary's, Georgia, which will service our Cumberland Island project of about 3,200 units, and also a affordable housing project we're doing in East Point, Georgia.
So this is almost like a vertically integrated ecosystem that you've created here.
Exactly.
Hey, let's talk about Safe and Green Medical, because that was the third thing you brought up. I want to talk about that a bit.
Sure. So one of the innovations we're bringing to market is, rather than just traditionally host and build medical services, we think putting them in modules and delivering them to unique destinations and for easy access for people. For instance, we have an agreement at the Port of Long Beach to deliver primary care and CLIA lab and pharmacy and imaging services to a population of union workers who will be able to take advantage of world-class medicine during their workdays. We expect better utilization and better outcomes. It will work on tribal territories. It'll work in the country. It'll work out of the country. It reduces non-attendance and non-adherence, and it creates really good opportunities for wellness. And that we see a lot of employers and large groups trying to find ways to help their workforce achieve wellness and create opportunities to distinguish themselves among other employers.
For our radio audience who can't see the screen, Paul Galvin is our guest. He's the chairman and CEO of Safe and Green Holdings. Their stock symbol SGBX. You can get more information by going to safeandgreenholdings.com. Before I let you out of here, pretty significant that on the ESG front, you guys were the first company to receive an ESR certification using recycled materials. Talk about that for a minute.
Sure. So our engineers were able to get a shipping container approved by the International Code Council, which resulted in an ESR number, and it represented the first time in history that a recycled material was approved for a secondary use in the economy of construction. And for us, we're very happy because this wasn't a light bulb or a doorknob. It was in the entire building. And container-based buildings now are underwritten when we use them as a piece of wood or a sheet of metal.
Yeah, good stuff. Paul, I certainly hope that you'll come back with us at some point, actually on a regular basis. Really interesting stuff. I appreciate you joining us. Paul Galvin, CEO, Safe and Green Holdings, SGBX is their stock symbol, safeandgreenholdings.com. You can also find them at our website, bigbizshow.com. I'll also put them out to our 100,000 social followers on TikTok Money. Sully Speaks Money. More Big Biz coming up. Stand by.